The next game in my collection is Rock of the Marne, and this is another World War I game. It is 15 turns long. It's a half day to a day per turn, and the scale's about a mile per hex. It goes from regiments, brigades, and divisions. And it has special rules for stormtroopers, headquarters, airplanes, tanks, bridges. It's got a lot in it. It's 1918, so it's late in the war. So I have not played this one yet, but it is on my to-do list. I want to someday. This one is called Bastogne, and this is a section of the Battle of the Bulge. It's 1 day per turn, and the game's only 10 turns. It's very approachable. The scale is like a 400 meters per hex, and it introduces the new Standard Combat Series road march rules, which kind of allow you some strategic movement under a kind of an innovative way to do it. And it's used in some other games too in the future. And it has some special rules for the 101st Airborne coming in. Road march, like I said, it has 88 artillery, airstrikes. It has snafu. So it's got some very cool features in the game, typical of what Dean Essig likes to come up with. Then I've got this one, Karelia 44. This is the last campaign of the continuation war. So this is a late Soviet Finnish battling, and this is 2 days per turn. I can't remember how long this game is. How many turns it lasts, but the scale is 2 kilometers per hex, and the units are from battalions to regiments in size. And the big innovation in this game is that it has boss patience rules, which is basically Stalin wanted the Soviet army to get this done. And so you're fighting the Finnish, but you're really fighting the Soviet deadline. And if you don't meet certain criteria, the boss patience goes down. And when it runs out to 0, you're done. So a new commander is going to come in and replace you. But it also has air units. It has headquarters, prepared offensives, and a very innovative idea of the ghost counter. So the Finnish units, they can cover areas in between each other, kind of like the zone of control idea, and you can put a ghost marker there, which it doesn't provide combat, but it does prevent the Soviets from marching through. They have to stop when they encounter a ghost marker. Just represents, some of the Finnish troops that are covering those areas. This one is It Never Snows. This is Standard Combat Series take on Market Garden, and it's huge. I think it's got 4 or 5 maps in it. I've never played the campaign on this. What I have done is played the Arnhem scenario, which was very cool. It's a half a day is a turn, so 2 turns covers 1 day. You get 17 turns in this game. And the scale is 600 meters per hex, so it's really zoomed in, and the units go all the way down to platoon in size, companies, and a few battalions in the artillery units. It has air and artillery, as you would expect, engineer capabilities, bridges, airdrops, and again, this is another game that uses the road march rules. So, very innovative idea. The concept is that you can switch road surface types X amount of times as long as you don't come into contact with an enemy, and then you can't march anymore. So it's a way to do strategic movement. And then I have this from Special Ops. I've never played this one, Raffia. So this is an interesting game. It takes the Standard Combat Series concepts into ancient warfare, and it's way scaled down. A lot of the rules in SCS aren't needed for ancient warfare, so it's a very simple game as I understand it, but I've never played it. Didn't really have much interest in it. I was more interested in the articles in Special Ops. So anyway, those are just a few more of the games in my Standard Combat Series collection. Okay, next we have the second edition, the expanded edition of the Mighty Endeavor. And what this does in, done again Battle for Germany style, it sets you up to invade during Normandy through the end of the war, like the original one does. But this adds in the Soviets coming in from the east, and you have the option of playing, if you're the Western allies, you play the Eastern German forces to stop the Soviets, and if you're playing the Soviet side, you also play the Western German side. So it has rules very similar to Battle for Germany. I've definitely played it out. It's good. I think the original Mighty Endeavor is the best game, but this is good enough. And I have here the Heights of Courage, which is the battle for the Golan Heights, October of '73. It's kind of a sister game to Yom Kippur. And I've never played this, so I don't have much to say about it, although I'm going to assume it's going to be very similar to Yom Kippur. This is a giant, this is Day of Days. I mean, look how thick this box is. This has a bunch of maps because it has the entire, I believe it has the entire Allied landings at Normandy. You can play Utah, Omaha, Sword, Juno, Gold. It's all in there. And I think I've played Utah. It was a long game, but it definitely held up fine. So, but it's a lot to undertake. This is from Special Ops Autumn for Barbarossa, and maybe I'll have a video on that game sometime. I did play that, and it's a small package. It's very doable, so that's what's great about those Special Ops magazines. This one I did a video on. You probably, if you may have seen this a little while ago, Panzer Battles, the 11th Panzer on the Chur River, and this game was actually quite a fairly simple game to get into. I definitely recommend that, and not a huge investment of time. And then I have this one, Iron Curtain, another one I have not played yet. This is a Cold War hypothetical games. The title says Central Europe, 1945 to 1989, so it's got a number of different scenarios, so you can scale it to, what if it broke out in the 50s or 60s? What if it broke out in the 80s? So this gives you the materials to do all of that. I haven't played it yet, so I can't really comment too much to it. And we still have a few more games to go. So now we're down to some of the newer entries. This one is Rostov 41, Race to the Dawn. This was an excellent game. I did play this one. It's like 3 to 6 days is a turn in this game, so it's a very good game on the I guess it would be Army Group South, I think, was covering this. I'm not 100% sure if it was Army. I think it was Army Group South trying to take Rostov. So yeah, very approachable game. This one's not hard. I think it's still probably in print. I got this one, North Africa, Africa Corps versus Desert Rats, 1940 to 42. Definitely covers the same period as Africa and Africa 2. The difference is this game uses 4 maps. So this starts to approach the scale of DAC and DAC 2 in the Operational Combat Series. But it uses the SCS rules. Many people wanted this for a long time, but it is a big game to set up, and I have not done it yet. I have played DAC and DAC 2 before. Obviously, I've played Africa 2. I'm looking forward to doing this sometime, but I don't know when. And then this last one, I didn't really need this, but I picked up Ardennes 2 because, well, this was Dean Essig's last game design, I believe, and he is hands down my favorite designer. and may he rest in peace. But this has a lot of potential in it. I'm sure it's a nice upgrade to the original Ardennes, and with some refinement and some maybe new ideas that he was able to put into it. So this one I definitely want to get to the table sometime, but it's not even out of the shrink yet. Anyway, that is my entire Standard Combat Series collection, unless I've accidentally missed something. So if you've been here this long, wow, congratulations on that. And maybe, sometime in the future, I hope to have some, replay or recaps on some of these Standard Combat Series games that I have completed. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.
Well, the first days are the hardest days, don't you worry anymore. 'Cause when life looks like easy street, there is danger at your door. Think this through with me. Let me know your mind.